They laughed when she showed up with a scratched-up rifle and a notebook. By the end of the mission, every man there would know her name and what it meant to be humbled by a ghost. Have you ever judged someone by how they look, only to realize they're 10 times more capable than you? What if that person saved your life before disappearing like smoke? This is the story of Meredith Voss, one of the most feared snipers the military never acknowledged. A story about humility, skill, and the quiet strength of a woman they once called washed up. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, and that women who served with honor should never be forgotten, subscribe now and turn on the bell so you won't miss a single untold story from our sisters in service. United States. When Meredith Voss stepped off the Black Hawk, nobody said a word. But they didn't have to. The looks told it all. She wasn't what they were expecting. Mid-40s, average height, gray strands threading through her ponytail. Her gear looked old school, almost antique. Her rifle case? Beat up and dusty. No one offered to carry it. They didn't think she'd need it. "Is she the mission advisor or something?" One of the younger SEALs whispered. She heard. She always did. The mission was in the Badakhshan corridor, close to the Pakistan border, rugged terrain, unstable weather. A bomb maker was scheduled to pass through for just one day. They had a single window, one shot. That's why they'd brought her in. Colonel Jennings met her with a nod. "Didn't think you'd accept after what happened in Tora Bora?" "That's behind me," she replied, her voice calm, controlled. As the sniper team prepped, jokes flew easily. "Is that rifle even zeroed?" "What is this, the Smithsonian?" "Don't trip on your retirement plan, Grandma." Meredith said nothing. She unpacked her gear, slid her notebook from her coat, and checked the sights on her modified M40A1, an old Marine rifle not used officially in years. Her notes weren't digital. No apps, no smart scope, just scrawled equations, wind charts, humidity conversions, done by hand. The guys laughed, but Colonel Jennings didn't. "She's not here to make friends," he told them. "She's here to do what none of you can." That night, intelligence confirmed the target would be visible for just 45 seconds. Range, 2,700 meters. Wind, shifting from 2 valleys. Visibility, low. Probability of success, 9%. The lead sniper, Staff Sergeant Kyle Moretti, tried to take the shot. He backed off. "Too many variables, I can't make that call." Colonel Jennings looked at Meredith. "Your move." She said nothing, just walked to her position. No spotter, no fancy gear, just that rifle, her notes, and silence. She made 2 quick adjustments to her scope, tiny clicks that no one else would have made. Then she waited. 1 breath, 1 squeeze, 1 kill. Through their scopes, the team watched the target collapse mid-step. Clean, centered, surgical. Nobody said a word for a full 10 seconds. Finally, Kyle Moretti walked up to her. "You knew the wind would shift, didn't you?" She just looked at the ridge line and said, "It always does at this hour. This region breathes. You just have to listen." The men looked at her differently after that. She wasn't just a sniper. She was the sniper. A few days later, a secondary target surfaced. 3 men, 3 locations. All had to go down simultaneously. No second chances, no reinforcements. Kyle asked, "Can it even be done?" "Not by 1 shooter," she replied, "but maybe by 3 who've learned to read the wind like it's a second language." They trained for 48 hours straight. Meredith taught them how to spot heat shimmer across a rock face, how to smell rain before it touches the soil, how the angle of dust trails in the distance can tell you what tech never will. The synchronized shot went off at 0700 sharp. 3 targets, 3 rifles, 1 result, all down. It became known unofficially as the ghost shot, the kind of thing that never shows up in reports, but spreads in whispers through barracks and late-night briefings. For Meredith, the battlefield was never just about enemies. It was about proving something deeper. That instinct could rival algorithms. That experience could outshoot arrogance. She'd been doubted in every room she entered, laughed at in every deployment she led. But now, as she watched her former doubters explain her techniques to the next wave of recruits, she understood something powerful. Sometimes, the best way to win a war is not with dominance, but with demonstration. Kyle Moretti, once the loudest skeptic, now kept her notebook in his bunk, studying her handwritten charts like scripture. Norse, the team's spotter, started wearing his old analog wind gauge, just like hers. And even Caspian, the tech junkie, had stopped bringing his targeting tablet altogether. They didn't just follow her methods now, they lived by them. She had reshaped how they saw the battlefield, and in doing so, reshaped how they saw themselves. In the months that followed, Meredith didn't just train them how to shoot. She trained them how to see terrain as a breathing organism, to read silence, to trust patience over firepower. Her range wasn't covered in sensors or holographic targets. It was raw, brutal nature, wind, rock, elevation, light. Every shot required respect, and with each passing day, she saw it in their eyes. They weren't just hitting targets anymore. They were becoming ghosts, quiet, focused, invisible, and unstoppable. Sometimes after dusk, she would walk alone past the range and spot a young recruit staying late, shoulders hunched over a notebook, scribbling adjustments with shaky hands. And she would smile. Because long after her name was forgotten, long after her rifle gathered dust in that glass case, there would still be another woman, maybe half her size, carrying a beat-up case and walking into a room full of doubt, ready to make the impossible shot. And if Meredith had done her job right, no one would ever see it coming. If this story moved you, if you believe women like Meredith deserve more than silence, then click subscribe, tap the bell, and help us keep these voices alive. Because honoring their service starts with hearing their stories. And here at Sisterhood Speaks, we speak so no woman has to be forgotten.